it could turn criminal really fast. They're just using the civil suit to knock down a lot of your money. I'm seeing this happen with a lot of rappers, a lot of athletes, and people not paying attention to.
Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and plays into every stereotype you could possibly imagine.
It looks like the situation with Shannon Sharpe is escalating. Mace's take on it, suggesting that this civil lawsuit could be just the beginning and might drain Shannon's finances ahead of a possible criminal case, adds a serious twist. With more alleged victims coming forward, it could destroy Shannon's career, including his deals with ESPN and other platforms. The real question now is whether he's being set up or if there's more truth behind these accusations. The stakes are higher than ever. What do you think?
Be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be, don't manipulate me.
I don't know, have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you.
It seems like everyone has an opinion on the Shannon Sharpe situation, and while some stand by him, others are raising serious concerns. Mace, however, has taken it a step further, pointing out that the real threat may not even be the civil lawsuit. It could be the criminal case lurking behind it. When Mace discussed the situation on the It Is What It Is podcast with Cameron, he didn't hold back. One of his first questions was, how come no one told Shannon that offering $10 million to his accuser wasn't the best move? According to Mace, offering such a large sum when accused of such a serious crime makes you look guilty, no matter how you spin it. It's a huge red flag, and it might be the key to turning this situation from bad to worse for Shannon.
Oh, this is what I'm getting at, and for him to offer $10 million says that there might be some truth to this, because I'm not offering nobody no $10 million if I know I didn't do anything. And I think the only reason that $10 million didn't work, Killer, I want to know how you feel about this. I think the $10 million didn't work because the pimp need his cut. You know, just allegedly. I'm not saying there is a pimp, right? Let me give you. It's just an idea. This is just an idea, right? So if there's a pimp, right? Why y'all keep laughing at?
But Mace didn't stop there. He added a twist to the story that, at first, might sound funny, but when you really think about it, it's pretty alarming. According to Mace, the fact that Shannon's accuser actually went to court even after being offered such a massive sum of money is highly suspicious. Mace went on to explain that when people get involved in these types of situations, it's often about the principle of the matter. He implied that the accuser's refusal to settle with the $10 million offer might indicate she's after something bigger, and that raises some serious questions about where this whole thing is heading. In his words, you know how people get in these situations. If they're not in it for the money, they're in it for something else. And when she turned down that offer, it just makes you wonder what she really wants. Mace wasn't holding back, and his perspective has definitely got people thinking. It seems like you're discussing some serious allegations. Just to clarify, this situation involves Shannon Sharpe and an accuser, Gabriela Zuniga, and there are claims about events that took place when she was 19 and Shannon was 54. These types of allegations are really serious and have major legal implications, especially when it comes to consent and power dynamics. If you'd like to discuss this further or need any specific information, feel free to ask. This is definitely a sensitive topic, and I want to ensure we're approaching it respectfully. How would you like to continue this conversation? Shannon pursued Gabby, and eventually, they began a relationship. However, Gabby later described it as far from a fairy tale romance. She claimed that Shannon controlled and manipulated her throughout their time together. He demanded her constant availability, keeping close watch on her whenever they were apart. Things took a darker turn when Shannon became embroiled in a major scandal last year. Court records reveal that the situation escalated dramatically after he accidentally streamed a live Instagram video while being intimate with another woman. Gabby reportedly felt humiliated by the situation and made the decision to end things with Shannon. However, he refused to accept her decision. Eventually, he persuaded her to invite him over to have a conversation and try to work things out. But when he arrived, things took a terrifying turn. Shannon allegedly became violent, assaulting her even as she cried and pleaded for him to stop. But that wasn't the last of it. In January 2025, he visited her house again, saying he wanted to give her some presents. But when he got there, he proceeded to assay her again and didn't even use it even though she had asked him to multiple times. Also, he allegedly used her a-hole without her consent. After the incident, she allegedly sent him this text saying, "But I cried when you left because I begged you to put a and not put it in my a-hole and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no." Shortly after the lawsuit was filed, Shannon's lawyer leaked some texts Gabby had sent him that were just super freaked out. "I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're effing me." This was sent on October 7th, 2023. Then there's another text from January 1st, 2025, which must have been a few days before the second alleged incident happened. The text said, "I know you missed this big juicy behind. $25,000 for each cheat. $25,000 for a cheat." You just know Shannon was letting that woman call him all sorts of slurs while they were getting freaky. I mean, check out these other texts. "Only if you put that baby gravy in me, then I can do whatever I want to me. I want to put my tongue in you're a hole and then marry you. That's my daddy. F. I want you to put a big black baby in me. You better crave it because you're going to be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me." I'm not sure what the plan was for Shannon's lawyer to release those texts because all it did was make Shannon look even worse. But believe it or not, things took an even wilder turn. Gabby's lawyer, Tony Busby, released some pretty incriminating audio recordings of Shannon threatening Gabby. In the first one, he says he's going to choke her out and she doesn't have a choice in the matter.
Right there. For real? Yeah, that worth a lot of money. You know how guys be, and they pushed her on her. And then she said 10. He was like, 10 is my 10. You gotta put in your number for yourself. That don't have nothing to do with mine. 10 is mine. That's what we discussed. I'm just telling.
Things were already looking grim after the first audio surfaced, but the second recording painted an even darker picture, strongly suggesting Shannon had a disturbing intent to physically harm Gabby. However, speculation is now swirling that the recordings may have been selectively edited to cast Shannon in the worst possible light. What's becoming increasingly clear is that this situation may involve more than just a complicated and questionable relationship. It could hint at deeper, more complex issues at play. That's why Mace found it odd that Gabby turned down the $10 million settlement. Realistically, given the context, that kind of offer isn't outlandish. Allegations like these are notoriously hard to substantiate, and in civil court, it's not uncommon for public opinion to turn against a young model, casting her as a greedy opportunist out to ruin a respected, successful man over money. Mace speculated that Gabby's refusal of the settlement might have had less to do with personal choice and more to do with behind-the-scenes influences, possibly individuals, who stood to benefit financially from a larger payout. He even hinted, half-jokingly, that the timing wasn't a coincidence, as Shannon was reportedly on the verge of landing a $100 million podcast deal. While Mace played it off lightly, the comment section lit up with theories that Shannon might be the target of a calculated setup. People started hoping this entire situation is either a misunderstanding or a hoax, because it seems like just as someone is about to secure a major financial breakthrough, detractors appear out of nowhere to try and derail it. But that's exactly the kind of thing we can't just come out and say, and that's why I brought it up to see what Stat would think. I had a feeling she'd respond like, "Yeah, no, you can't be on the brink of $100 million and make choices like that. I keep telling Killer, you can't keep getting involved with women like this. We've seen it before, with Ant-Man. With other players, it never ends well. You're standing at the edge of life-changing money, and then you risk it all over someone from Instagram? Or is it OnlyFans? Yeah, OnlyFans. So how does that even work? She runs her own account, does her thing, and people pay? But that wasn't the end of it. Mace went on to say that Shannon appears to have stumbled into a familiar and dangerous trap, one that many high-profile men face when allegations start flying. According to him, the first lawsuit is often just bait, designed to provoke a reaction and drain resources before the real battle begins. Mace even suggested that Shannon could be heading down the same path as Diddy. It begins with a civil suit, then more pile on, and before long, the situation escalates into a full-blown federal case.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you.
I don't.
You know what?
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice.
What exactly does light physical interaction in a playful context mean, and how does that justify choking someone? But, as it turns out, this isn't the only strange incident in Shannon's past. Another troubling case recently resurfaced, this time involving Shannon's ex, Michelle Evans. In 2023, Michelle filed a defamation lawsuit against Shannon after obtaining a restraining order against him. According to the lawsuit, Michelle claimed that she and Shannon had been in a relationship for nearly 10 years, but things came to a head in September 2010, when they had an argument about Shannon allegedly cheating on her. Michelle claimed that, during the argument, Shannon became violent and forced her to perform oral on him. Afterward, he forced her to the bed where he allegedly sayed her, while saying he would make it so no other man would want her. Interestingly, this was the exact same line Gabby claimed he used on her in her lawsuit. Gabby claimed that in October 2024, when he came to her apartment after she had tried to break up with him, Shannon forced her to perform oral on him, saying, "You've disrespected me so much. I'm going to punish this a-hole. I'm going to make it so no man will want you again." Then he allegedly proceeded to essay her through her back door, and while he was doing it, he said, "Look at my arm. I've got chills. That's how good this is." The whole time she was crying and sobbing uncontrollably. Anyway, according to Michelle, Shannon became extremely violent after the attack. He would allegedly threaten to ruin her if she talked about what had happened, and at some point he started calling and threatening her repeatedly. He was also allegedly stalking her and would always remind her that he was watching her. This prompted her to get a restraining order against him. After this lawsuit resurfaced, Shannon's team released a statement blasting Michelle, saying she was only hopping on the Shannon hate train, hoping to get some cash. They called her lawsuit old news, fanciful exaggerations, and blatant misrepresentation of facts. They added that the allegations are completely devoid of merit, and Shannon has done nothing wrong and intends to fight back against these malicious lies. He also denied the allegations Gabby made against him, calling it a shakedown. "This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I wouldn't myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media." The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly, on OnlyFans. Shannon's facing serious accusations, with Gabby and her lawyer, Tony Busby, seeking $50 million. Shannon believes their actions are an attempt to defame him and sabotage his career. He insists that his reputation is built on honesty and transparency, and he feels that his family and fans know the truth. But the situation is gaining momentum, and it seems like Shannon is starting to understand the gravity of the situation, that there's a real chance this could lead to legal consequences, including potential jail time. The big question now is whether Shannon will face any legal consequences, or if this scandal will just blow over in a few weeks. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to stay tuned for more stories like this right here.